Welcome to the very last recording of all the many films, interviews I have done with exhibitors from Hunkeler Innovationdays. Just to disclaim 100%, this is purely editorial. Nobody has paid us to do this. This is simply because we want to support both the exhibitors and our audience to get wiser. And last but not least, we think it's great for people to know what to expect from Hunkeler Innovation Days, which takes place from February 27th. So sorry for the long introduction, Bill, but welcome to INKISH.
Thank you very much, Morten. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I actually, when I sent out the invitations, I paid a little bit extra attention because I think Ironsides was such a great name, but I was not 100% aware of what it is. And you gave me a very short introduction to what Ironsides is, and I think that we should have a little talk about present and past. So why don't you start introducing yourself so we get a little bit up to date where you are today?
Sure. So Ironsides is a software company, and my partner and I founded it in 2007. Prior to that, he and I had been a technology and business team since 1996. So he and I go way back, and he still speaks with me, so that's pretty good. Ironsides is in the production tracking business. So we started out in 2007. People were asking us, I need to find a system that can track everything that's going on in my factory, no matter what kind of equipment I have. I'm in printing. I have Xerox, Canon, and HP. I just merged with a company that has a lot of mailing equipment, W&D, Bluecrest, Bowie, and we also have a bunch of finishing kit. And I need to see what's going on that floor. Nobody seems to have the system. Can you help us out? So we decided to build it. And we built it in 2007 specifically to be open to any device, any platform that the customer might have, which today, literally today, is really terrific because the theme of Hunkeler Days 2023 is next level automation. Well, we think we've been in next level automation since 2007. So we bring a lot of experience to our customers today.
And as I said to you also before the recording was turned on, basically when you think of this, 2007 is, that is like actually when the internet got like widely spread out in North America and Europe. And right now it seems such an integrated part of both workflow, and I take that you have a particular interest in IoT as well. And I was just like, there's a lot of things that have changed since then. The environment from a programming perspective was also entirely different in 2007 compared to today, right?
Yep. Certainly at the end of the day, this is an IoT solution. So we're going out and touching all the various pieces of equipment and platforms that a customer has, so we can pull the whole thing together in a single command and control center. So back in 2007, the mission was to go out and touch all the equipment, gather that data in our database, and report back to them what was going on in real time so they could make good management decisions. We've evolved. We have a process of continual improvement. Many people say, well, you build the software once and that's the end of it. We've been building it since 2007, and we make it better every year because the customer applications change every year. So our motto has been, what can we do to help our customer? So what we've been doing is introducing new modules to the software so they can track from the time they receive an order, they can get better information about their costs, and today the key issue is productivity. So we have an excellent OEE module so the customers can see, exactly what is going on with their equipment, with their operators, for their customers, and make more intelligent production and management decisions.
I just want to turn it back a little bit again because I'm just curious. Because when you say IoT today, the Internet of Things and IP addresses and sensors are now built into almost anything that you can buy today. But legacy products, they probably don't have any sensors from birth. So do you support a lot of sensors being built into the machines, or is it reporting from the operators that created the foundation for the management system in the beginning, or how did you do that?
Well, that's a great question. So we try to eliminate operator involvement. So part of our mission, what our customers want to do, is take the reporting task away from the operators so they can focus on operating the equipment to the best of their ability and get maximum optimization out of that equipment. So one of the ways to do that is by using sensors, scanners, different types of things to collect data. But like everything else, the devil is in the details. So the truth of the matter is, we work for several companies that have multiple plants. Same customers, but they manufacture different applications in different plants. And the truth of the matter is, every single plant is unique. Every single plant is different. So in order to make the data collection techniques work, you really have to understand what that machine is supposed to do, what that operator is supposed to do, what the application is all about, and what the management team needs for information to run their shop better. So what we say is we have tremendous experience in the weeds, in the day-to-day, on-the-floor operation of a printing factory. And we use that knowledge to make our software stronger and better. That's what we came up with the name Ironsides, strong software.
Of course. And I was just about to say, and you said that yourself right now, but if you look at being in the market for so many years and having relationship with the OEMs and the PSPs and every stakeholder in the industry, you gain a lot of information. So you can basically say, okay, with this binding machine, does it operate within its optimum, because you can compare it to other sites that have similar equipment. I take that knowledge gives you a lot of possibilities to create really strong reporting to your customers.
Yeah, we actually have an extraordinary reporting system. Our goal was to build a good reporting system, and our customers have helped us create a very, very strong reporting system. I think our standard reports cover 150 different manufacturing processes inside the plant. So beyond that, so we have a very strong reporting package. Inside the package, we have a report builder, so the customers can build their own reports based on what we're seeing. And then beyond that, the entire database that we create is always open to the customer. So that data never becomes Ironsides data. It is 100% perpetually the property of the customer. And we teach them how to go into our database and extract the data they want so they can make better information for themselves and for their clients. Very powerful.
Yeah, I think that there is a saying that the more you know, the less you know. Because and the reason I say this right now is just because it came to mind that sometimes when you look at all the data that you can get from machines, it's important how to process the data and how to turn it into actionable kind of items and processes. Yeah. Is that something that you help with as well, or is that up to the management?
Well, you touched upon an extremely important point. So what's the best way to get the best answers? You have to ask the best questions. So our process starts with a control file, and the control file tells it kind of directs. It's a director for our software. It tells our software what to look for, what data to gather. So what we've learned working with our customers, especially in the last 10 years, is that this control file is very, very powerful because it's so versatile. And when you build the right questions into that control file, it's absolutely remarkable the amount of data that you can get that you can turn into useful information for the customers. So it's a constant circle. You're always looking for better information, and the key is to ask better questions.
Maybe an extension to that. I was just thinking that from a management perspective, you always want to get the most out of the investments you have, of course. I was just wondering, with the data and your broad knowledge of both technology, but also applications and operator dependency and things like that. Let's say a printing company wants to improve their productivity. Would you be able to go in and identify from this data, let's say 3-5 actions that are the low-hanging fruits to basically optimize? So, I mean, the reason I'm asking is just because I think that if you have 150 parameters to choose from, you basically have something where it's probably some of it is easier to do and have a higher return right away. So I was just wondering if you could mimic an environment and basically figure out how to optimize a business based on all these data.
Well, I guess the simple answer is yes. The way we do that is we work with the customers. We have a reporting system dedicated to productivity and OEE metrics. We call it Automated Productivity Analytics. And what that does is it gathers data from all the processes in the factory, offset, digital, finishing, bindery, mailing, shipping, and puts that all together so that the customer can see exactly what's going on. Now, the basis for optimization is really the customer expectations for that job. So they have a plan, and what we do, the plan always works well until it gets to the floor, and particularly today with such small runs and frequent short jobs, the customers are measured. They're not driven so much by profit; they're driven by the ability to meet the SLA. So when these small jobs get out on the floor, you have to get them out the back door. You don't have a week. You might have a shift. You might have 12 hours.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I think that the SLAs. I mean, because if you the cost of not reaching your SLA is probably higher than the immediately profit optimization of utilizing a machine, right? Because it can sometimes become very expensive if you don't meet the requirements you have agreed with your customer. So I get that. Another thing I can't help, and maybe it's because again I don't know so much, but I was just curious about when everybody today talks about OEE. I totally understand why we want to do that, but one thing I think that sometimes is forgotten in the equation is the utilization of equipment and also the profitability on it. Because I mean, you can have a very, very efficient printing company, but if you don't make money on it, it doesn't really matter how efficient you are. Or even worse situation, you can be extremely efficient, but you have only utilized your machines 20%. I was just wondering, these kind of things, is that something that you also play around with in how you see OEE, for example?
Yeah, again, I would say yes. So what we're doing is we're seeing everything that happens, and what the focus that we have is, it's less against industry standards. It's more against what the customer expects of themselves and what they need to do to make a profit on every job for every customer. And as you said, there's so many small jobs. The turnaround is so quick that the penalty can completely eat the profit of the job. So we have an automated alerting system that will notify management and operators that this particular job is behind schedule for whatever reason. And then they can react to that so they can protect their profits and get the job out on time.
So a kind of early warning system.
Yes, very much so.
I take with the data that you get from the machines and the involvement you must have with your customers, it requires some kind of very close relationship with the customer, right? That, I mean, they put a lot of trust in Ironside, right?
Yeah, I mean, we really have partners. We don't really refer to them as customers. When we start working with people, it's the beginning of a very long-term relationship, and we work very closely together. The operators love the system. We have operators tell us, thank you so much for this installation because you're protecting my job. You're allowing me to do what my job is, which is to run the equipment, and you take away all the work that's causing me problems, which is the tracking and reporting. Our system is designed to adapt to any environment. And because we offer a system, it's extremely easy for a customer to start with us. It's very easy to start small with Ironsides and tackle an application that's giving them trouble and fix that problem. But when you fix that problem, it typically opens up the opportunity to look at the next problem. So our relationships with customers go on for years and years and years. We did an analysis. We don't lose customers. Of course, we've had turnover, but the turnover usually comes from a M&A or a factory closing or something like that. We've got a great relationship with our customers.
So, Bill, as I said, the technology is a bitch because we were just interrupted because either the software is not good enough or the distance is too big. As I said to you, with all the information that you have from the machines and the understanding you have of the operation of a printing company, a customer with Ironside, they must put a lot of trust into your company, right?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We treat our clients as partners and they treat us as partners. We have long-standing relationships with everybody that we do business with, and it starts from the fact that the Ironside system is very modular and scalable. So by design, it's very easy to start with us on a small scale. Customers are intimidated by big software systems that are take it or leave it, it's all or nothing. We are the opposite of that. We have a system that we can go in and help them with a handful of applications, help them solve real problems, and then when we solve those problems, they say, okay, here's the next set of problems. How can you help us with this? So as the customers adapt and grow and change, we grow with them, and they are really truly partnerships. Operators will say to us, thank you so much for the software. It helps to protect my job because now I can run my machine better. So it's a great relationship.
I was just thinking. There's a lot of printing companies are having more and more troubles finding skilled labor. There's a tendency that more and more is going to be automated, both because it's difficult to get labor, but also because they want to be as efficient as possible. Yep. With all the information that you get on the machine side and from the operation, are you only gathering data, or can you also push that into actions?
Well, we have an automated alerting system, for example, to help people react to their SLA requirements. So that reacts to jobs not running as efficiently as they were planned, or for whatever reason, to get behind schedule. So that gets pushed out to the management team automatically. We have an alerting system that's actually quite effective. On the operator side, labor shortages are a significant issue. What most operators hate to do is fill out reports. The reports usually can, if they do it right, who cares? That's your job. If they do it wrong, well, that's a big problem. So that's a task that they don't like to do. And our system does it for them automatically. So it takes that monkey off their back. So we react. It's a good system for the operators. So it allows them to focus on running the machine at maximum efficiency. And then for the management staff, we have an alerting system that pushes information out to them when they need it or when they want it.
And so that basically means that if everything is running according to plan, nobody notices Ironsides.
Well, we're in the background, but we actually send out alerts when things are going well. So management will want to know, has this job completed? We'll send an alert. Yes, it has. So it's a very dynamic system, and it adapts to what the customer wants to do. Everybody's a little bit different, so we adapt to them.
So we mentioned that in the beginning when I called you and I asked you, and that was the IoT. Is IoT? I take it's a huge advantage for you because you now have sensors built in and you get a lot of information I was just about to say automatically from all the devices that are connected. Is that something that you also utilize in Ironsides?
Yeah, I mean, we work with a wide variety of data collection techniques. Sensors, direct machine interface, interface with controllers, cameras, scanners, you name it, counters. There's a whole wide variety of ways to collect data. One of the things that Ironsides is very good at is collecting that data. My partner is Chief Technology Officer, and he's been on dozens, if not hundreds, of shop floors, gaining first-hand experience to what our partners, our customers have to deal with, and what their operators have to deal with. So because of that, you know, we know that we don't tell the customer this is what you should do. The customer tells us this is what we need. We figure out how to get it. That experience is extremely valuable on the shop floor.
Even though you have a vast history already, I take that the need of reporting is not getting less, right? I mean, people want more and more data to have a better hands-on with the operation, and in an international environment where you have a lot of maybe even overseas plants, or you have multiple sites and things like that. I take that is a great opportunity for you as a company, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of merger and acquisition activity over the last 10 years. And and there's been a lot of private equity money coming into the industry as well. So the private equity people see that there's some old-fashioned practices in printing, old ways of thinking, and they know that with a fresh approach and fresh money, they can make things better. So the theory behind the acquisitions is that, you know, if you build this bigger production capacity, you can be more efficient, you can buy paper more economically, you can do all these wonderful things. But the problem is that when you try to put together 2 or 3 or 4 different factories that could be located in different countries, it's a huge challenge. And one of the big things they need is visibility to the work in process. That's what Ironsides provides. So that visibility acts like glue to hold all these different operations together. We were working with R.R. Donnelly on a project, and the director of IT said, you know, I don't want you telling me that you can help me with my capacity. I've got more capacity than I know what to do with. What I don't know is what's going on every day. And he said, I need a piece of glue. You're the glue. Go out and tell me what's happening. In these, they had bought 15 new plants. That was a big challenge.
And I would say not the worst case study to work on either, right?
Yeah. Well, it's a real issue. If how can you load balance if you don't know what the activity is inside the plant? And that's what we provide. It's real-time visibility to work in process that we track, we report, and we provide analytics on.
Innovation Days in Switzerland. I think that there's a lot of technology providers on software side, on hardware side, on even substrate side. So when you go there, what is your expectations to be in Lucerne in just 2-3 weeks time?
Well, for us, it's an opportunity to meet face-to-face with many of our partners and associates since the beginning of the pandemic. I've been able to work with our UK clients face-to-face, but it's been a little bit more challenging to get to Europe. So it's a great opportunity for us to meet with these people. We also have a lot of projects that we've been working on during the pandemic that because of the pandemic they slowed down, but now they're picking up speed again. So it's a fantastic opportunity to meet with those prospects and those clients to discuss face-to-face, you know, what are the issues that are challenging for you, and how can Ironsides help you solve those problems? Well, great show. We can't wait.
Yeah. And what can people see when they come to your booth? Is that like seeing examples of what data you collect and how you can use it as a tool, or what are you planning on showing?
Yeah, I have a basic overview of the total Ironsides system. In fact, when I was putting it together, I had to stand back a minute and say, wow, we've come a long way since 2007. Our customers have been tremendous in helping us push the envelope in terms of what the software can do. So at a trade show event, it's just difficult. It's very difficult to run live presentations and live tracking. The OEMs, they're sometimes they don't want their machines tracked because the machines are up and down because they're showing people how they work. So the tracking system is almost too negative. But we have a very good overview of the system. If people want a demo, we're happy to provide the demo. But what the trade show is really ideal for is continuing conversations that we've already started, or starting a new conversation with somebody that we pick up after the trade show.
And I'm pretty sure when you are there and maybe your partners there and you have people talking to people and giving them an overview of what Ironsides is all about, they will be as intrigued as myself. So, Bill, I want to thank you very much for your time here on this little INKISH episode. I'm sorry about the technical hiccup, but you're the glue you're the glue with the machine overview. I think I will be the glue for the film. Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
So it was great meeting you, and I look forward to meet you in person in Lucerne in just a few weeks.
Likewise. Look forward to meeting you.